Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, September 10th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. So, short term, very ugly performance by the bulls, right, on the intraday. But in the bigger picture, they got to be happy. We close at an all-time high in the S&P. We have an all-time high in the S&P, SPX, ES, SPY. The overnight still holds the all-time high now for both ES and in SPY. NQ is up on the daily now, still balanced on the weekly. Righty stays in balance. This was a case today, really, of what didn't happen. So what didn't happen? Well, we gapped high and didn't hold the gaps. Then we attempted to go trend down 3 times in NQ. Well, didn't hold. Twice in ES, didn't hold. ES had a minuscule trend day up. For a second, didn't hold. So there's a lot of things that didn't happen. Very messy, ugly profile. The 80-20 rule came into play in NQ, and it played out. We got into value starting in J and K and get to value low in L. But then they rallied off of that. Righty goes out with a 10-wide point of control, afternoon rally high, and a 4-day balance. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. NQ and ES both go out with just an afternoon rally high in H, 7-wide point of controls. So we're still, again, in good shape in the bigger picture. You cannot ignore the fact that these monthlies are incredibly strong. And that's why it's like a magnet. Every time the market pulls in, it just draws it right back up, right? If you are able to put the the monthly into balance, then maybe some things can change. But until then, look, we're up on all 3 time frames in ES. We're up on 2 out of 3 in NQ. So they're not gonna go away. However, on today's trading, other than A, I did nothing but short the rest of the day. Now, this is probably the weirdest day I ever had. I took longs in A because we had the gap value. I longed against the 144, against an old point of control in NQ, and against the 830 price PPI low. And I did well on all 3 of them. I did not take another trade till F. I don't think that's ever happened before. B, C, D, and E did nothing for me. I shorted F, thinking we'd get the IB low. Now we didn't, but I still did okay on it. Then, you know what? No, it was really one trade, F and G. Started with a short at 10. It went back up. I added at 24. I took those off down at, I forgot where I took them off. I think 18 or something. I forgot where. And then in G period, it went back up. I should have added up again. I didn't. But then when it came down, I went full boat. I still had the 3 I was short at 10. I added 7, and I shorted from 10 to 02. So I made 80 points between F and G. So patience paid off. I was up maybe 15, 20 points. I don't know what I was up in A. But patience paid off, and I got paid 80 points between F and G. Now, we didn't go down that much. I could tell you that much. H ended up with the afternoon rally high. I had an offer in. So we had the bond auction going off. I put an offer in up at 41, I think. Missed me by 3 ticks, I think, or a point. And then after that, rolled over and attempted to go trend 3 times in NQ, but failed each and every time. So F and G I shorted. I shorted H period to fill the gap. I shorted I period when we filled the single prints. I shorted K versus single prints we had. I shorted ES, believe it or not, in L to get the overnight low. I shorted NQ and L because it was doing some nice ebb and flowing. And then I shorted M period one time When we filled the single prints, came in, made small on that, and then that was it. So even though value was higher all day, the indices were up to flat. I still felt the short, I was more comfortable in NQ to short it after A period. But again, short-term players really whip the MGI around. The fact that we couldn't get this overnight high in the S was definitely a telltale sign when they took out A's high. Now, NQ never took out A's high, but ES did. And the fact that they couldn't go another 3 points was definitely a telltale sign. So, but it took everything they had to get the overnight low and the gap fill. They did hold the base of the price probe, ES. NQ obviously did not, as they went to value low. Righty also just missed taking out yesterday's low, which would have been a potential outside day down, but that never came to fruition. Chart-wise, so your monthly just keeps making higher highs, right, in the S&P. It's still very healthy. The weekly is now up. Came out of a 4-week balance, up. Now, Triple Q's weekly is still balanced. Until we take out that all-time high, to me, it's balanced. They're trying, but they haven't yet. And then on the daily, we're up. We broke out of a 4-day balance to the upside. 71 million on the tape right now, so above average in SPY, 47 in Q, so above average also there. Nothing great by any stretch, but above average. Now again, tomorrow you have CPI, which will send the algos into another tizzy, and then you have a 30-year bond auction at 1. Not the most accommodating day, that's for sure, but turned out to be a good one. I hope you guys and gals had a good day. Thank you for liking, subscribing to this channel. Rest up, enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.